Hey, I'm Abdul Kadir, the developer of Bitcode Technology Limited. So you can contact us for Zoho development, customization, and integrations. Even for custom application building solution, you can contact us. Let's get started. Today, I will show you how to fetch data or information from a live feed URL to Zoho Analytics. From the live feed URL data, or when it should be imported real times, or it should be scheduled on every 1 hours in the Zoho Analytics. After the data is stored in the analytics, you can prepare the report, dashboard, or widget. So whenever the data updated into the clouds, it should be updated real times or scheduled on or later into the analytics system. So we can fetch live feed data from HubSpot, SalesForce, Xero, QuickBooks, BlueEHR, or from any other platform or any other CRM system. So you don't need to manually import or export every time. So it will take your time and cost. I think if we do import the data from live feed URLs, it will reduce your time and cost. So let's get started. I'm jumping back to the Zoho Analytics. So this is Zoho Analytics. So I'm going to the data source. Hold on, it's loading, and I'm adding a data source. Adding a data source from live feed URL. I'm putting the live feed URL in the table name. It should be bitcode test. So the file type should be JSON. So I need to put the authentication type. It should be auth2. And what other information I need to put for fetching the data from live feed URLs? That's I need to put the data from live feed URLs or web feed URLs. By the URLs, I will generate the authentication token, and this is scope. Scope means it's give us the permissions for accessing to the specific data. The access token prefix, it should be the VRR tokens, and the client credential, it should be in basic authentication header. So let's change. The grant type should be client credentials. It is the client secret and client ID. And now it should be API. Scope should be the API, I know. And I'm doing these things for BlueEHR systems for fetching the data. So if I go here, I have imported all the API documentation information of BlueEHR. So click on the authentication, get credentials, and this is the authentication URL. So I'm going to paste it in the analytics under authentication URL. So it's already done. The authentication URL should be the page URL. Up to this section, the page URLs, and the facility should be the facility name, and the type of URL. Let's copy the type of URL from where I will fetch the information. So if I click here in the demographics APIs under patient search, you see this is the URLs for fetching the data. So if I click first in the authentication API, get authentication, click here. So this is the API token. It should be validate within hours, and after 1 hour it should be expired. So let's click on the demographic API, fetch the data from live feeds, the URL by API authentications. Just I'm going to put the bearer token. So I'm putting the access token. Just click in the send button. Putting. You see, it shows status is success. So data is coming from that source, and this is the live feed URL. So if I click on the URL and copy up to facility, it should be good. Now jumping back to the analytics feed URL. Okay, and under facility, it should be uh, facility name. Okay. Now, the client credential should be as basic authentication header, and access type should be access token prefix should be bearer token. I already showed you in the Postman tool. Now click next. Unable to check your authentication details. Might be I have used the wrong client credential. Just hold on. So let's retry. Check your authentication details. Let me check my authentication details. So it's already existing with the same name. I need to change the table name, like in the. Let's retry. You see, all the data are now coming from BlueEHR server, and it should be real time. So every time updated data into the BlueEHR, it should be updated here. If I go to the BlueEHR website, BlueEHR, so you see, from BlueEHR, I'm fetching the data into analytics, and it's real time using the API authentication. You see, this is the BlueEHR. From BlueEHR to Zoho Analytics that are coming, create. You see, 29 records imported, total column 29, and you see, I can schedule it once week, monthly, on every n hours, 1 hours. Okay, save. So I need to put the client ID, client credential. Okay, save. Okay, it's scheduled and imported. So let's have a look in the data source. You see, in filter IT data tabs, it syncs successfully. It should be fetched every 1 hour. And if I click fetch now, it should be imported again. And now go to the data and see. So data should be fetched real times, or data should be fetched every 1 hour later from the live server from Xero, QuickBooks, BlueEHR, or Salesforce, HubSpot, or from any other server to the Zoho Analytics. Then we can make the custom reports, application, widgets, anything we want. And so it will reduce your time, it will reduce your cost, just doing the manual operations like exports, imports, everything. So it is really time consuming and cost consuming. So I think you like this video, how we are fetching the data from other servers to Zoho Analytics via live feed URLs using the API authentication. So it's okay now. Okay, thanks. Thanks for watching the tutorial.